Hey there. Well, what a situation. 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. It's a wet one. I'm shirtless with a towel over top of me, keeping me dry and hopefully without. I don't know if you can actually catch pneumonia this way, but everybody, I don't know why that's still coming in that way. Send a quick link and they can find out how safe I am. Oh, wow. So, last night, I cut an episode for if and probably when I need to be, which I am, I'm leaving. I'm in that garage setup that I told you all about with a dog who's dealing with anxiety and being sick as a result. And here we go. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. This is our second one in as many weeks, and there's a third on the way. I still have that hacking cough. Thanks, Trump. I affectionately call it Trump trachea. DeSantos lies again. But President Joe Biden sets the record straight. I can't wait. I'm just going to sit and let it rain and watch the maggots try to steer around this one. Yet again. And this guy stood in my driveway and told us about the help that would be on the way that I never saw. And those people that were with him said they would come back to me. And then in previous excursions, I don't remember if it was Adalia or Ian or Charlie or Debbie, wherever and whenever we ran out of gas for people to evacuate. He said this would never happen again. Guess who is out of gas? But it doesn't stop there. Guess who doesn't return phone calls to the president or vice president of the United States? Because he didn't know they called. Then why didn't you call them? Arrogant prick. It's 11:07, 78 degrees and rainy. How are you? I don't know which one's going to be for today's morning motivation, but we'll get to that before we leave, I promise you. Pierre's pot, first up. Today, Pierre's pot is... Got to put it on the screen. I still don't have a camera up. It's coming. Folks, I got bigger priorities right now than to bring 2 $800 cameras out of a dry space. Pierre's pot, shout out to Nicole, Sandy, and the entire team at 99.1 WDJY in Atlanta, one of our affiliates. One of our 2 Atlanta affiliates, actually. The other one just gets the live feed and puts it out. They made their lives easy. But 99.1, excuse me, 99.1 has been super flexible with my deadlines. When it comes to, I can either do a live show that I'm set up for and scheduled for, such as this, or if I'm sick, or if I got to evacuate because of a hurricane, then they put in a pre-recorded episode of somewhere from something. Usually my show, hopefully. But that's actually their right to not put my show in. And I've been in other spots for that same reason. Well, God love them. I've sent them stuff late at night because I can't I've got to go. It's not going to be safe. It's not going to end well. And God love them, that's what plays the next day. I cut an hour-long episode. It's kind of a little bit more evergreen, as we call it, meaning that you can kind of play it any time. It is with relevance to Milton. So if it does play tomorrow and or Friday, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, I got to do I should get the intro on this one. I need more monitors. Oh my God, do I appreciate my other two monitors. Wow. So in honor of Pierre Robert of 93.3 WMMR, Philadelphia, a radio DJ hero of mine who has been there since 1981, we toast the morning sauce today, that's coffee, in the direction of our good citizen, in this case, good citizens, honored listeners, and actually producers at 99.1 WDJY for other shows. They just kind of distribute more than anything my stuff. But Nicole, Sandy, and the team, everybody else, who I would actually love to actually just meet everybody. Everybody at 99.1 WDJY FM, Atlanta. Available online at WDJYFM.com. Thank you all for helping us pass today's message, tomorrow's message, yesterday's message, everything that we're getting out. In spite of Debbie, Helene, Milton, and whatever the good Lord throws at us next. We've got to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the guy who stood in my driveway and lied to our face. 99.1 WDJY, 1490 WWPR, WTAN, WDCF, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after these words. So,
is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Joe Biden,
he lost the election and he knew it.
To become the president.
He betrayed millions of Americans by telling them the election was stolen.
Stop the steal.
He ignored the rulings of dozens of courts. Rather than accept his defeat, he mobilized a mob to come to Washington and march on the Capitol. Then he watched on television while the mob attacked law enforcement, invaded the Capitol, and hunted the vice president. He refused for 3 hours to tell the mob to leave. There has never been a greater dereliction of duty by any president. Trump was warned repeatedly that his plans for January 6th were illegal. He didn't care, and today he celebrates those who attacked our Capitol. Donald Trump has proven he is unfit for office. Donald Trump is a risk America can never take again.
Yeah, hope you're hearing that. So, one of the reasons why we are still on the air, or back on the air after Helene, is this guy. Tim Jasanowski is the guy who built this rocket of a computer sitting to my side. Tim's Custom Computers in Newport Richey is where I've had 2 computers built. My son's computer, I think he built that one first, but whatever. Tim did that one. Tim did this one. Go to timscustomcomputers.com or call 727-766-2756 and get your machine today. The prices just stop. You won't beat them. You can get the sweetest souped up Mac for $10,000 or more, which I almost did. And you know what? I can't do half the things. Certainly not as easy as what I can on this. It's a Windows machine, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. I just want something that works. I want something that I can entertain and educate you with. I want something I can rant with, like I did last night. I want something that's going to work. And in today's economics, even though we got the best one in the world, Tim is your guy. Go to timscustomcomputers.com or call 726-766-2756 today. Use that insurance money and get online. All right, first segment today, DeSantos. Remember, I call him DeSantos sometimes when I want to compare him to George Santos, the other lying POS from the MAGA party. I don't call them Republicans. They're not Republicans. Mitt Romney is a Republican. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger are Republicans. The rhinos, the Republicans in name only, are the maggots. And I'm done being nice. I'm so done being nice. And I know they wear that name with as a badge of honor. Okay, fine. Wear it. And make sure it's glued on there tight. So when your grandchildren read about you in history books, they know what not to be. 2 weeks ago, this coming Sunday, I'm cleaning out for the first weekend after having left for a night due to Helene. Kind of, sort of sunny afternoon, post-storm weather. And I see traffic, we'll just call it that, going up and down my street. I know who it is. I know why it's going up and down my street. Because somebody's coming. And that somebody was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Deep breath. I knew who it was, like I said. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I just thought of something else. I got to go back and always do this. It just cracks me up, even though it's supposed to happen at the beginning.
Wake up, goddammit!
Maybe I need to put that like at the end of the song. Create a couple different lengths of our theme song and make sure that's at the end of all of them.
Wake up, goddammit!
Yeah, that's what we'll do. So I'm in my driveway cleaning up some things outside, and I see these trucks, SWAT, shift agents, you name it, advanced team, shift agents, you name it. I don't think I finished the actual, I got to go back. Toast of the morning sauce. Here's to you, Nicole, Sandy, and everybody. I don't think I actually did the cheers, but there's that. All right, so these trucks running up and down my street in Hudson. There you go. You have a clue where I live anyway. And I know who that is. And because of where we're at, I know exactly who it is. And sure enough, Florida Governor Ron DeSantos rears his ugly head, his bobble head. And some staffer, somebody, I don't know who it was, asks, would you like to talk to him? And at this point, I've seen him on TV. I've seen the messages he's been giving. And as much as I don't like the guy's politics or ability, he is nothing more than an autocrat wannabe, a Trump wannabe. It seemed as though he was actually good at emergency management. So I said, you know what? To myself, I said, self, you're going to put your partisan politics aside, and you're going to talk to the guy. And you're going to show him on your wall how high Hurricane Idalia came last year. And you'll show him on your wall, me talking to myself still, how high the marks still are from Hurricane Helene. And when I showed him the 4-foot difference, he and County Sheriff Chris Nacco said, "Oh, wow. That man, DeSantis, I got no beef with Nacco. None. I have no reason to have. Even if he's a DeSantis supporter, knock yourself out." But when the assets that I used for the next week and a half were more from Pasco County than they were anywhere else, don't tell me that you've sent help, that you're bringing help, that you're coming to the rescue, because you didn't. And then we have this issue of somebody not being in good cell phone coverage or something, because somebody, whether I like the guy or not, I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm opening some other things here. Whether I like the guy or not, I'm thinking, you know what? He's got a job to do. I'm going to help out. If the president calls me, even if it was Trump, and I mean this seriously, even if it was Trump, who I am zero fan of, out of respect for the office, I would absolutely take that call. Same thing for Vice President Harris. And I would never give some BS story that I didn't know. Okay, you know what? Maybe you didn't know that it was either of them calling with a 202 area code. But I'll tell you what you know. You knew that you're the governor of a state that needs help. You know that right above you on the food chain is another government that can buy and sell you and did not run out of money, contrary to what your party spread. That'll be another story. We didn't even get to that. It's been that far debunked, that long ago debunked already this week. That I would have the respect for the offices of the president and the vice president to either take or return their calls. You think you're more important than they are. You're not. When you stand in my driveway and tell me, my neighbors, and my community that help is either on the way or is coming or will be ready, whatever bullshit story you gave us to win us back over, from when you stood in other driveways when gas ran out during evacuations, you said that would never happen again. And for what? Where is US 19 and other highways and their status on gas? Thanks and shout out to Sportcat, Glenn Jackson, who told me last night that gas is being sent to Florida from Georgia, who is not in the best shape right now either, and could probably use some of it. I just think it's ironic that the average price of gas in this area has been down much closer or even under $3 a gallon. That, oh my God, we ran out. Oh, can you imagine? As far as I'm concerned, that is the January 6th equivalent for a governor. when you let your people hang because your pussy hurts. Because you got your ass kicked by a mouse. And now women all over the country can't stand you. And it's not because you're gay and have better taste than they do like I do. Yeah, that's another story. How his administration is suing various networks for playing a commercial supporting Amendment 4, which is pro-choice. When the head of the FCC says to another government agency, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, you can take that to the bank. Did you hear that? So, finally, crazy Uncle Joe comes to the rescue. And he gets to say, I did that. I brought that gas to Florida. And apparently on Facebook, he's gone and set the record straight. See if I can find that link. Tonight, I spoke with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Tampa Mayor Castor for firsthand reports on Hurricane Helene recovery. And preparations. So what do you call it, Ron? I'm reading the next link from the Hill, hill.com. DeSantis pushes back on delusional Harris remark. Ron DeSantis said it was delusional for Vice President Harris to accuse him of political gamesmanship. Well, what do you call it? Gross incompetence is the other thing I got. Because when you let us sit here with a Category 5 on the way and no gas, either you did it to be a dick or you're pathetic. There is no other option. And I hope the people who I was on a call with yesterday are listening to today's show, because I bet they're boiling, because DeSantis is their boy. You can't lie about him. I'm not. I'm telling the truth. You asshats lied about Biden. And I called you out on it, and I don't need your little circle jerk. I'm the one going on the air in Vegas this week or next. Not you. At least not that anybody knows about. I'm on 100 different stations. Yeah? And where are they? I'm in major cities. And growing. I'm not a has-been. Sorry, my little flashback to yesterday. I think I'm off my meds. I feel good. Is this what it's like? I'm trying to find this actual ad, and I can't find it. Oh, I know where I was going to. Yeah, I was going to do it here. And, of course, I find another Navy SEAL who's fed up with Trump. Shocker. Now I just wish all the other so-called intellectuals would figure it out. I got to search this. Well, there we go. Amendment 4, Florida. That's what we got. Because I will play that commercial for free. And I'm seeing all these 3-minute long. I got to find that one too because that'll probably piss in Ronnie's Cheerios. Over this abortion ad. Well, looks like we're going to be back right after this.
Even in cases like mine. Amendment 4 is going to protect women like me. We have to vote yes. When I saw the tumor on the MRI, my first thought was, am I going to be able to see my daughter again? The doctors knew if I did not end my pregnancy, I would lose my baby, I would lose my life, and my daughter would lose her mom. Florida has now banned abortion, even in cases like mine. Amendment 4 is going to protect women like me. We have to vote yes.
Well, there it is. You will see more of that and hear more of it. I got to download it. I'll put my phone up to the screen and copy it that way if I have to. We're getting this commercial and we're giving it airtime. I don't care. Oh. I can't watch that one. I'm trying to get out of this screen. Oh, yeah, we're going to save that. And we're going to play that like a drum set. So Ron's phone doesn't work. We learned that. And he's blaming Harris and Biden for it. I can find some notes here, find out what's next. Oh, yeah, it is that time. Well, there was one break. Okay. It's time for a break. So there was one commercial. Funny enough. 99.1 WDJY, 1490 WWPR, WTAN, WDCF, and the Massive Media Network. We'll be back after this.
Is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Joe Biden
He lost the election and he knew it.
to become the president.
He betrayed millions of Americans by telling them the election was stolen.
Stop the
He
steal.
ignored the rulings of dozens of courts. Rather than accept his defeat, he mobilized a mob to come to Washington and march on the Capitol. Then he watched on television while the mob attacked law enforcement, invaded the Capitol, and hunted the vice president. He refused for 3 hours to tell the mob to leave. There has never been a greater dereliction of duty by any president. Trump was warned repeatedly that his plans for January 6th were illegal. He didn't care, and today he celebrates those who attacked our Capitol. Donald Trump has proven he is unfit for office. Donald Trump is a risk America can never take again.
Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, catered dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yerg's Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. Please email me news, N-E-W-Z, at yergs.com. News, N-E-W-Z, at yergz.com. Thanks. Participants must be willing to provide their contact information, answer a series of questions, and then have their first name broadcast over the radio and social media relevant to Up the Middle. Okay. Are we back? I don't know what happened there, but I think I minimized a bunch of things. And yeah, I minimized the actual window that I was in. Yeah, well, I got to minimize a bunch of things because I just got to see what's waiting for me and what's not. Because I'm hearing all kinds of dings, like there's an alert or something. Somebody's trying to, jump in, like Sportcat, WDJY. Nothing in our chat, so that's good. At least not recent. Good. I see nothing else, so good. All right. Next up, I moved here to get into the hospitality industry after my career in the Secret Service. And the pathetic job and career that was Dan Bongino inspired me to do better. And so I am. I'm growing. I don't have his audience. I know that. He can giggle about my comments all he wants. Danny Boy and his boy Benny Johnson. I love that his last name is Johnson because we all know the innuendo for that, yet he calls himself a boy. How appropriate. Here I am, not in hospitality. The deal that we had for a hotel down in Gulfport, which is obviously not a good place to be right now, fell through. I saw some things that I didn't like, and so we walked away. That's all I'm going to say about that. And here we are now, Ian Broadcasting. But I'm not leaving. And as Uncle Barry says, if I still have it. Oh, maybe it's not up. That's why. There. Try again. There he is. Boom. We did not come here to fear the future. We came here to shape it. Barack Obama. I'm not living here on the Gulf Coast of Florida to worry about not if, but when I get hit at least once a year by some level of a hurricane. But also how, how and who is going to deal with it. I just realized there might be something else on that I got to see. For all of you, really. There you go. We'll check in on that in a second. But Uncle Barry is telling me I did not come here to the west coast of Florida, to the Gulf Coast of Florida. That's another thing I just realized. The Republicans around here call the Gulf Coast the west coast of Florida. Yet the other west coast, where all the libtards live, they don't like. So they want to be like them somehow. Anyway, we came here to shape it. And I'm not going to run from somebody who stands in my driveway and tells me things are going to get better and then lets them go to hell. And I'm not going to run from some old man on a social media application who calls me an immature grade schooler or whatever. What does he call me yesterday? Because I told him off, and everybody else who under Mother F Joe Biden but wanted to get down on their knees and kiss DeSantis' ass. I lost everything. And because of his failed effort, if you want to even call it that, to reshape and revamp the insurance industry for this very occasion, I have to rebuild the inside of my house by myself. Speaking of which, we're selling airtime. Call 1-888-322-4298 for more information. Back to being pissed. I'm not going to sit here and be fearful of what my future holds. In an area, I walk my dogs here at night because I can't believe I live here. I love it here. Even dealing with this is not that hard. But these assets rebuild. I have neighbors, follow me here on this. I have neighbors who had, just like I just did, I wish I was in the same position as I am now last year, courtesy of Adalia. Or 2 years ago, when Ian came through here only as a tropical storm because it devastated so much down in Naples. Because what I'm about to do would already be done. And so many other people would have seen the success that we're about to experience with my house. They would have done the same thing, and they would not be experiencing the story I'm about to tell you. I have neighbors who spent their payout from their insurance company to rebuild everything that they lost last year for Medallia. And what did they do? Just like everybody else, they took their one-story house and they didn't rebuild anything. They remodeled. I'm seeing our numbers going up, so I just want to give you a shout out. Thanks for joining. We got about 15 minutes left in today's show. And if you don't see a camera, it's because there isn't one. My cameras are safely packed away so that when these storms are through, we can get back on the air fully again. I'm just happy to be able to have a functioning microphone and your attention. And thank you. Anyway, I've watched as I've walked my dogs throughout this entire neighborhood. So many good people, most of whom we do not agree politically. We'll just leave it at that. But they're not bad people. They just have some bad judgment. And as I've learned in umpire school, from bad judgment comes good judgment. And they're experiencing that. Quick shout out to another one of my high school English teachers, not my work wife, Jane Stahl, but I don't want to call him my work husband. For one, I think he'd make him feel a little uncomfortable, but also he doesn't work at Yerg's Radio or with Mastiff Media, but he was a guest on Both Sides Now with Jane and me. Phil Repko pointed out that through all of this Trump hype, there's a huge presence back in 2016. And let's be clear, whatever number, I think 80 million or whatever he got in 2020 was impressive, even though he lost fair and square. So says his own Department of Homeland Security. And I again quote, the most secure election in history. Donald Trump's DHS. But what Phil pointed out, we do see people getting off the Trump train. What you don't see are people getting back on. Some of them are wising up, like the 300 plus registered Republican officials from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs to his own chief of staff, General John Kelly, who was also the Secretary of Homeland Security for a while. Great guy. Really cool. I really liked him. Very down to earth. And so many others. 40 out of 44 members of his cabinet have refused to endorse him. One of which, his own former vice president. Yet these people that still follow him think he's the one that's doing everything right. Somebody said, I was on Facebook and literally laughed out loud. You know, we probably wouldn't be in this shape if we had a successful businessman as president. I knew what they were saying. They think Donald Trump is successful. Why do they think that? Because they can't think for themselves, one. And two, that's what he tells them multiple times, which is how you get people to believe lies. We still got time, by the way. So there's the number, 1-888-88-YERGS, although I think I closed out that application. Let me start it back up again. So if you do call, we can talk to you. Yeah, 1-888-88-YERGZ. That's 1-888-889-3749. Is what that spells. So, oh, damn it, where was I? Yeah, Phil Repko said, you don't see anybody getting back on. And like, wow, he's right. And it was one of those things you always kind of sort of knew. I knew that, but I hadn't realized it. I hadn't been able to say it because I hadn't realized it. And my dad said something also, which is also, I think, very important. Oh, Weather Channel. That's what it is. It's raining. Oh, okay. Thanks. And that is a lot of these people who are sheep. John J. Wiley, Brian Swift, who is an on-air talent at Yerg's Radio. I'm not going to cut a show because I don't agree with him. I'm going to call him out. I could cut him off. No, I'm not going to do that. He does have positive messages that he gives, and I want that. I just wish he would stay in his lane. Leave the politics to those of us that actually know anything about it. But hey, it's his airtime. Knock yourself out, dude. When your ratings suck, then I'll get rid of you. But my dad also said, and this is all going to come into shaping the future here in a second. I'm going to take another break, and I'm going to go outside. I'm going to show you what it's doing, if anything. You don't know what they're going to do when they're alone inside that voting booth. I'm paraphrasing that one, but my dad said, and I'm like, wow, yeah. A lot of these people want camaraderie. A lot of these people want to belong. Remember Marcus Aurelius, our quote from the show, the Evergreen show that we did? They want to be in that majority, even though they're sheep for doing so. I think that's the other thing that I've realized through this process is they don't understand the fact that they're not mentally capable of realizing that. I know some really bright people, and shout out again, I've done this so many times, he probably thinks it's a little weird, but David Beckmeyer, also from Yerg's Radio, and the podcast and radio show Outrage Overload, as well as This Week in Outrage and Outrage Science Bites. And also he's got a fourth one that I love, Okay Boomer. I, months ago, even probably a year ago, said, with regards to Phil's comment, that there will be so many people leaving the Trump train. The ones that are left are the ones who aren't smart enough to realize they've been duped. They've been hoodwinked by a guy who, by the way, is a professional convicted hoodwinker. Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Shuttle, Trump Casinos, all failed miserably, largely because of lies. Take, in part, for example, real estate valuations. Does that sound familiar? So, I really think this isn't going to be close. I've been saying that. I stand by that. And one of the examples that I've got for people wanting to belong is one of my own neighbors. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say exactly where. But one of the houses in my neighborhood has a Trump sign in his yard, her yard, their yard, from the Trump-Pence campaigns. So either 2016 and or 2020. Now, how do I know that? One, when I saw it while walking my dogs, all it said was Trump. It did not say Trump Pence, Trump Vance. It just said Trump. Why? Because that's all that was left. The bottom part that would have had either of the campaign partners, running mate, wasn't there. Why was it not there? Because it was cut away. It was cut in half. Well, Yergs, you ask, why not just get an updated sign? But to that, I ask you, how do you get an updated sign? Do you go to the store? No. Not sold in any stores. Can you get them online? Yes, you can. You pay for that sign. You donate at least $20 or more. I don't know what the actual price is, but you donate money, point being, to the campaign. So you get that updated sign, which is what that family did when they bought the first one. They would not, and let me tell you something about, all I'll say without telling you where, it's a nice house. They bought that sign through a donation. They can buy 5 more with lunch money. Yet instead of doing that, they took an old sign, repurposed it without pence on it. And I was able to confirm because there was a year. It was, I think, 2020. They did not want to spend the money to get an updated sign. But they didn't want to leave the team. They wanted their neighbors to make them think, to make the neighbors think that they're still with it. When in all actuality, not so much. I don't have that fear. I will tell you I'm not voting for Trump. I will tell you DeSantos is a POS. He's a horrible leader. He's a phony. And crazy Uncle Joe may be what he is, an old man. But for a man who's been in public service at the federal level for as long as I've been alive, maybe somewhere, even if it's through his handlers, there's some wisdom to be used and absorbed and appreciated. So let's go, Brandon. Come on down here and help us, grateful Floridians, clean up this mess. And with that, I think you can also figure out we're looking forward to seeing Kamala become the first lady president. I'm going to take a quick break. Come back. I'm going to show you outside for what camera I do have, and that's my phone. My hair's a mess, so I didn't want to do that today. But we'll see what it's like out here in northern part of the Tampa Bay and into the Nature Coast. I'd hear it even through my headphones. If it was bad right now, I'd hear it. So 99.1 WDJY and the rest of the Massive Media Network. Thanks for joining us today. One more break, and then we'll be back to wrap up.
Obamacare is a disaster. We want to terminate it.
That would mean over 100 million Americans will lose protections for pre-existing conditions.
President Biden has protected the Affordable Care Act and lowered healthcare costs for millions by $800 a year. Now, he'll make those savings permanent.
Healthcare should be a basic right. Folks, he's coming for your healthcare, and we're not going to let it happen. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
From iHeart Podcasts.
What the hell is going on in here?
Everyone has their limits.
I
I'd never confronted a situation like this.
The numbers were being inflated and lied about and conflated.
I just thought it was just a really terrible, immoral thing for him to do.
A line they won't cross.
I was stunned, and I just said to him, no.
We're killing people. What exactly are we doing here?
I remember him saying, in this 007 evil villain kind of way, this is the beginning of a process.
You may never have to face that decision. When you find yourself at that line,
thoughts racing, hearts racing, emotions are all over the place.
They could be harassed, they could be imprisoned, they could be killed.
Somebody needs to just, for once, give everybody the whole truth.
I'm like, this is evil. And the only person who can sound the alarm is you.
She folded it up, put it in her pantyhose, and walked out of the building.
Yeah, I really am the world's dumbest criminal.
These are the whistleblowers.
I wasn't just going to sit silently by.
I was told you take your questioning black self and get it on up out of my facility because you're trouble.
The message is, if you are disloyal, if you speak out, you will pay.
This is what it's like when the president decides he wants to destroy you.
Bad things are going to happen to him.
You're an anti-American. You are a
disgrace to our country. He should be prosecuted.
When power corrupts, conscience is the last line of defense.
Is it ever too late to do the right thing?
We talk about institutions, but they're really about individual people.
The responsibility drops in everybody's lap.
I'm Miles Taylor. The Whistleblowers premieres Thursday, July 13th on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Check out Miles Taylor and the Whistleblowers. I've referenced that plenty of times throughout Up the Middle, Both Sides Now, and Yerg's Tonight. He does an excellent job telling the stories of various people who blew the whistle on the Trump administration and their reasons why, personal and professional, as well as the consequences that these people paid to get the truth to the public. Check out the Whistleblowers on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The July date that he mentioned is from 2023, and season 1 is complete. It's excellent, and it's still very relevant, probably now more than ever. So I certainly recommend that you give it a look. See you again. All right, gang. I'm trying to get this so that... Nope, just lost it. I'm setting up my phone. I've been setting up my phone for the entire commercial, and none of it's working. Join stream. There I am. But I'm trying to... We're going to take that off. I'm not going to do any more phone calls either. Oh, you know what? We already lost. Damn it. We already lost 99.1. They're gone. We lost him during the commercial. But I'm going to go outside and just give you a quick, here's what's going on. As soon as I set this up so that it's forward and not backward. I don't know why it's not letting me. Video. There we go. All right, let's do this. I'm going to lose the headset. I'm a mess, so I'm also going to leave it forward. Both my dogs are lying down. I'm going to turn on this mic, and off we go. All right, let's do this. Here's the house, mocked. I don't know what the hell's going on, but my neighbor's been bothered. All right. Outside the door. It's raining. That's all we got right now. A little bit of a breeze blowing. You can see the breeze moving, but there's nothing. But all we're doing in northern, what's called the Nature Coast, where Florida, where the coast was the house. Hi, baby. There's somebody with this. So for that one, I'm actually Papa. My dogs. We're walking through what kitchen. That's the garage where I'm staying. There's Mace. Dining room. I think I'm actually gonna salvage the dining room. This is the bar room. Former. We're gonna go outside. I'm not gonna phone all wet, but there is outside. I did debris that's in the lot next door that was left from that floated here from Helene. See these windows here. Really, get over here. Right there is how high on the wall. It's how high Helene was. It's all washed off by now, but it's rainy, but everything's fairly calm. And so I'm not going to be stupid. We're going to end the show. I'm going to pack up. And baby, stay with Papa. Whatever can be brought inside is, I got to take that swing down. The boat, that's not my boat. That's my neighbor's boat. I don't know if you saw it when I was out there, but their dock was ripped apart. Ripped apart once manually because it was moved and just not reassembled strong enough to make it through Helene. Whoa, what's that? Where'd that come from? There's a bunch of water right here in this corner. Figure out where that's from now. That's not deep. But I saw it. It's just here. They're just really good. So, right there in that sunlight, puddle of water, I have no idea where that came from. So I've got to mop that up and see why or where. Stop. Go ahead. See why or where. Maybe it came from the bucket from when I was mopping earlier. Let's hope. I'm not seeing any other entry. This is not what you think it is. It's been confirmed. Little project before I leave. I want to see where that's coming from. What it is. That's it. It's what it's like when you lose everything. Ron DeSantis stands out in that spot right there. As help's on the way. It's almost 2 weeks ago. Shady, come in here, baby. Here's the air mattress. New refrigerator. Save computer system. Mike, all the cool stuff. Well, all the cool stuff minus cameras. That's where the washer dryer used to be. That's where base cabinets used to be. They're sitting out in the driveway right now. And everything looks pretty decent. So I'm going to change, pack up, end today's show. Thanks for joining, listening. Thanks for watching. However you joined us. You will see a replay tomorrow, likely. Maybe not. We'll see. But that's everything. Thank you all again. Where I signed this off, so I want to hear myself.
This actually worked.
So, yeah, there we go.
Throw some earphones back on.
And there it is. Whatever rendition of the Doghouse Studio Yard is. Level right here. That when I put the phone in and use another platform. That's it. But not a fan here. You know, those.
I'm not gonna lie.
All right, guys. Thanks again for
joining. Thanks again for watching. Point to come back to the regular spot here. All right. Let's see, leave. There we go. All right. You can take the phone number off too. That ain't happening. You can still email. Do so by emailing me news, NEWZ, at yergz.com. If you get anything that we think we should be talking about or I should be looking into, and happy to do that for you. And just tell everybody about us, please. Share, like, subscribe, do what you got to do wherever you're following us, whether it's social media, Yergz Radio. We're getting on other directories, but right now I'm concentrating, especially before Election Day, getting on other terrestrial stations. Yesterday, great conversation with Mike Hayes. Yeah. From KSHP. Anything west of the Mississippi, the first four letters starts with the letter K. East, it's W. So KSHP in Las Vegas, Nevada. Can you say swing state? We'll be on there as soon as this Friday. Maybe not till next. We're going to start weekly like we are with our other newer terrestrial stations. And as soon as we get additional sponsors to pay for additional days, that's you folks, we'll expand that accordingly. If you would like to be a sponsor, 888-322-4298. We can do, through the radio portion, we can do your ad locally if that's all you want. You can be here with me either as a pre-done commercial, which will be cheaper, or I can do it live like I did for Tim's Custom Computers and what's the other one? Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Or however you want. Call, email, news, NEWZ at Yergz, YERGZ, or call us 1-888. That's the office number, 322-4298. If you call the 1-888-88-YERGZ, I'll find you. I'll get you. I promise you. I scroll through. I really screen my junk mail every day on all email accounts, even the ones you don't know about, just in case. I will find you. So that's it. Something will be on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific, 4 p.m. UK time. We are in London, by the way. So if you get a bigger business, smaller business, international business, you're doing something out of your garage, we can help. Call 1-888-322-4298 or news, NEWZ, at YERGZ.com. All right, as you've seen, I've got some packing. And it's not a lot to pack so much as, I just got to prep the rest of the house and get out of here and make sure I'm at higher ground at the right time for however long the time is. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. You've been up the middle. We'll see you tomorrow, one way or another.